All right, so how can we use the five W's to actually narrow this down further? We actually looked at them to see what was there, but now we can use them to also then help get some information. So again, this is a process that you can do multiple times. It's a type of pre-writing, right? If you remember pre-writing techniques, one of those techniques that you read about were the six journalism questions. So that's the five here plus the word how. So again, this is just a form of pre-writing. So again, you can do this at any stage, right? So who? How can we narrow our question to a more specific who, right? So what level of teacher, right? And what specific group of students are we talking about? So that could be college faculty, right? You may have thought high school or elementary school or daycare, right? A teacher is anyone that can teach, right? And that isn't just, limited to a campus, right? So again, I'm going to go with college faculty. And students, well, obviously then college students. Now, I teach concurrent students, and concurrent students are considered college students, but they are also high school students. And so I could say concurrent students if that is a limitation or a narrowing that makes sense. And that's always the caveat here, right? Caveat means warning. You can narrow it so far that you can't really find any information about it, right? You can't go to the extreme here. So you have to think about, okay, when I'm doing my research and I've got this great topic, I can see that a whole lot of my articles are about this issue plus concurrent students. So I could talk about all students, but if I have enough research to narrow it down to just concurrent students, then that's going to actually make my writing task easier because I don't have to address anything else except concurrent, right? So again, we've got to look for those opportunities to narrow in ways that's going to make our writing easier in terms of how to manage and cover all of our bases, but it's not too narrow that we don't have enough information and can't find enough resources to prove anything, right? So what, right? What is the problem? What makes these students bad in ways that faculty can help, right? Some things faculty can't do anything about. So we can't talk about issues if we're talking about how teachers can help that are outside the scope of what a teacher should legitimately, professionally, ethically, and just logically be able to influence, right? And so, are we talking about bad in the way, are these cheaters? Are they lazy? Do they miss a lot of school, right? So they're just not actually being a good student, right? Are they unprepared for college environment? So they're having a bad experience because, they're not used to having as much freedom as you get in college to, show up in class and, nobody's there kind of standing over you to make sure you're going from one place to the other, right? If you want to go and get a Dr. Pepper between your two classes and you end up taking 30 minutes instead of 10, then well, okay, you're late for class. You may have penalties, but we're not going to come down and like, where have you been, right? So again, maybe bad means they're unprepared. Or maybe bad means they're lacking the skills to take certain classes or to pass certain classes, right? So these are all ways that we could narrow bad into something that's actually concrete and that we could actually prove. So you know, where are these teachers and students meeting? Where is this happening, right? So it could be a specific place like a college campus or perhaps online classes or face-to-face class, right? It could be a specific class like math, learning strategies, freshman composition. When? When is this happening? Right? Is there a particular time when these groups are meeting? Is there a particular time when this problem is happening? And so that could make us think about, well, a specific year. Is this a freshman issue, a sophomore issue, an upperclassman issue? Is it a specific semester? Like, is this problem mainly starting and we need to really tackle it from the first semester? If we're trying to do it from the third semester, then maybe it's too late, right? Your research may say that, this really is a first semester issue or first year issue, right? Why? Right? So what might be causing the problem? Are there reasons to act on this information? Right? Remember, you're writing an argumentative paper. And so if all you're doing is giving people information, then you're not really meeting the needs of the assignment. You've got to tell us something that is going to be your position, right? That your backing with research, but that you're going to be asking people to do something, right? So why should they do that? So is the problem that teachers are not trained to address whatever the issue is? Is it the students are not getting the education they need in high school? So when they come to college, this is why they're having one of these problems. Is helping students graduate on time that have positive outcomes. So that's why we need to do it, right? And then what else? Well, what can I do to find answers to these questions? Can you guess the answer? Research. That's why it's a research paper.